Hey YouTube, welcome back. Hopefully this is a pretty quick one. I've started doing the work and then filming the intro. That way I've got some idea of what the hell I did. We got the supercharger put on. We got the intercooler put on top of it. Hopefully we got all the. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the video, but hopefully we got all the towels pulled out of the intake, and we got the throttle body on and started connecting up some of the millions of miles of air and water pipes. We've still got more. Need to find a part number for this gasket. It's kind of a flat little gasket. They went back. It looks like somewhere along the line somebody was in, rather than replacing the gasket, they just kind of gumped it with RTV. So that's unfortunate, but we're going to get a real gasket and put it in, or sorry, a real O-ring and put it in. And then on the next one, I think we're going to start on the front of the engine, all the pulleys and everything that we had taken off. Let's get to the supercharger. All right, it's probably like 2 weeks later from, I don't even know where my recording left off. We got parts in. We built a graduation box for the kid next door. And so now we are putting the supercharger back in. Somebody put RTV on this. It doesn't call for it. Now there are a couple of dings and stuff in here, but it looks pretty good, really. So this is easier. I've been using my gasket scraper and some Scotch-Brite and brake cleaner. So gonna keep working this out. Don't think I need to show you that. And then we'll start putting the supercharger back together. So hopefully you can see that. You can see, I mean, it wasn't a bad RTV job. Sometimes, you know, you see RTV and it's just glumpy and gloppy and nasty. This wasn't that. It was, you know, it was applied with some thought and with some skill, but the workshop manual doesn't call for RTV, so we're gonna try to go with a new gasket and see what we get. All right, so we're putting the supercharger back together, and I thought I was going to be clever and put in the left manifold and then, or the left plenum, and then put in the supercharger, then put in the right plenum. But there are, as you can see, there are locating pins on the supercharger. One seems to be missing because there's one back here too, on the other side. But so there's locating pins on those, and then there's also locating pins going down into the manifold. So I may have outsmarted myself. So we went ahead and printed out the instructions, and these are 25 Newton meters. Hold them together. Front, put a bolt in. Now these are T40s, and you torque them to 25 Newton meters. All right, just ran them up. I'm going to go ahead and kind of align the front by feel. So I don't know if you saw that or not, but the brake cleaner, before the RTV cures, brake cleaner turns it to mush, and it's very easy to clean up. All right, hopefully you can see that. Now for the heavy part. Got our intake gaskets in. So I pulled it back up. I want to make sure I don't have anything under the backside. If I bring it forward a bit, this is when it would be nice to have a friend. Phone a friend. Stick these two out the back. Alright, so give it a second shot. I think we've got everything out of the way that we need out of the way. Alright, so we're lined up. What is keeping us up? I think it's just those the alignment pins, being homemade, are not perfect. This doesn't really need this much prying force. It's more a question of reach. All right, the bolts. All right, so we there's a air pipe out the back here, and actually I forgot to put on the damn sensor, but I think I'm gonna have to do that leave it in the car. Took the sensor out when it was in the car. Should have put it in, but these are in the original order.
We're just going to run these down.
Having a hex head on these would be handier, but for $15 instead of $220 or whatever, that little bit of inconvenience isn't bad. So they didn't have a tightening sequence, but in general, I start from the middle and work my way out. All right, so didn't do myself any favors. This little sensor goes in the back under here, and since I forgot to put it on beforehand, but I wanted to go ahead and get this in. Just got a towel here. I'm leaning on the left plenum to support my fat self, and then I fish this in down here. Might be good to go ahead and this connector's a pain in the ass.
One eternity later.
Alright, I don't know if that was truly an eternity, but man, it felt like it. So click. Would have been much easier if I would have remembered it at the beginning. Alright, so this all went to the Symposer, which is of course gone. But there's a pipe down here that this snaps onto, and that's what was keeping it from going down on the pegs earlier. All right, there we go. There's a connector to be plugged in here. Looks like it goes that way. This will come up and go around to the side over here. And I think that's really going to be it for today. I'm just going to do a quick re-clean of this top surface. Pull the paper towels that I got stuck in or the blue shop rags that I got stuck down in the intake. That would be bad. So I was looking at that at the gasket, and it's a good design. I mean, it's nice and thick, but on the edge, it's got a raised rubber lip, and you know, it isolates the intake plenums from the supercharger itself. So I think it's going to be a good one. All right. So it looks pretty good. I don't know if I ever clean the underside of the intercooler. So I don't think I ever cleaned up the inside here. It doesn't look like it needs much. I don't think this had, I think it was the bottom of the supercharger gasket that had most of the RTV, although there's a little bit here. So for those of you that are more like me and you don't know 100% how a supercharger works, the supercharged air, or the compressed air, gets thrown up into this top part, and then it's forced through the intercoolers, and there's coolant pipes. And so even though this is hot, it's not as hot as compressed air. When you compress things, they heat up. When you let things expand quickly, they cool down. That's the whole premise behind air conditioning. But anyway, so air goes through there, goes through the intercoolers. The intercoolers aren't cold. They're still, 200 degrees Fahrenheit or so, 100 degrees Celsius, but it's cooler than the supercharged air. So it cools it down and pumps it into the engine with denser air. You can obviously burn fuel more efficiently. You got more air, and so you can burn fuel more efficiently. We're going to clean this up. Probably not gonna make you sit through that. And then put it on, and that might be it for today. Gotta go get my wife at the airport. This is a sensor, and it wasn't plugged in when I took the truck apart. So it's just odd. I don't know if it's a temperature sensor or what, but it wasn't plugged in and the truck was running. So not 100% sure what it is. So there's certainly a front and a back to this, but I don't see a top and a bottom. All right, so I didn't do the shop manual for the intercooler, but I gotta believe that it is the same torque, and I'm using the 4 pins. I don't know if they recommend it, but I recommend it. Son of a gun. It works good though, except for smashing my fingers. So I did this as I was taking them out. I went ahead and did a diagram, and here's where I've got the current pins. So we'll go ahead and kind of start working around from the outside. It's T40. I'm just gonna run it in with the Ugga Dugga. made short work of it. I highly recommend doing a diagram. Kind of work inside out. Okay, still I got it at 24.5 Newton meters. All right, like I say, I don't think there's a specific tightening sequence, so I'm just going to kind of work in a back and forth, round and round pattern. All right, since I'm not just going around in a circle, I grabbed a marker just so I can kind of keep track of what I have torqued and what I haven't. A little green mark here. The damn hard pipe is the bane of my existence.
Several bad puns later.
So if folks are thinking that I'm over torquing these, I've actually got the torque wrench set to 24.5, and the spec is 25, so that gives me a little bit of extra run. That might have been a little too much run since I was talking. There we go. We've got a torqued up supercharger. The engine is somewhat waterproof again. I should probably really print out the service manual on this, because I have a feeling I'm going to be taking some stuff off. That's 17 mil open end wrench, or if you got a fuel line wrench, but this is pretty good. Don't know what the torque is, but I know it's under some pretty high pressure, so I'm going to give it a little bit of oomph to my click click. These are T30s. So I didn't specifically show it, but you want to make sure if you take the cap off or the line off your fuel rail, put something over it. It doesn't have to be like super airtight or anything, but just to keep dust, leaves, water out of it. You don't want that crap getting into your injectors. I'm gonna just run these down, and I dropped the torque on the torque wrench down to about 20, because this is definitely an aluminum head or aluminum supercharger body. That might be too much. I think I'm going to stop at 15. So 20 just doesn't, it feels like it's too much. It's funny, when I was younger, man, wrench on it until I could wrench no more. And now I've got a little bit of a feel to it where it feels like I can I can feel everything stretching, and I don't want to go any further. Where did the cover to my oil filter go? Where in the world did I put it? Oh, it's right here. So we're going to reuse the throttle body gasket. It's in good shape. I mean, it's still pliable. It's not. It doesn't have chunks. It's not. It's not dry and brittle. It's metal sandwiched by a couple of layers of rubber, and so I think it's in fine shape. I think this was a part. I mean, I know it was a part. I can see evidence of it, and I think that they probably took this off when they were doing the timing change. So that really wasn't that long ago. All right, throttle body on. So I think that's going to about do it for us today. We got the supercharger on. We got the intercooler put on the supercharger. We got the throttle body on, and got some hoses put back together. Some of the 2 million hoses put back together. But in our next adventure, we will tackle some of the stuff on the front of the engine. I think that's about it for me. My time's up. I thank you for yours. We'll see you on the next one, YouTube. Thanks for watching the supercharger and intercooler video. It's exciting to be getting stuff out of the boot rather than sticking stuff in the boot. And if you've made it this far in the video, I'm up to 333 subscribers, which is ridiculous. But to celebrate, I'm going to give away one of my custom cutting boards. And you can find examples of them at JDW Folk Art. I'm probably going to expand it too. I'm going to give away a couple of my tailgate carvings. So if look for that video, it should come out sometime like the last week in May. The contest is going to run from June, and then like 4th of July weekend or something, we'll pull the name randomly. But anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, I want to reward you. So if you'll put in the comments hashtag intercooler, and I'll put it over the screen, that will get you 2 entries. Okay, so you don't have to keep entering, and but if you put the hashtag intercooler, it'll get you 2 entries. So thanks for watching this one. Look for us on the next one.